You want the truth about being a young real estate agent? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. You might notice that Lisa Wong is noticeably absent from this week's vlog. We miss you. One day, gone one day, everyone misses you. Everyone knows you're not here. And you're not on the vlog because of it. So I'm sad. I'm sad that you're not here. I'm sad.
I miss her too.
One con for being such a young professional in real estate is that you don't have a lot of people in your sphere that are ready to sell a house yet.
Being younger, I don't know a lot of people, on top of not being from here. So I don't know a lot of people.
Most clients that you get are going to be either like your older relatives, your older family members, or like people that you've never talked to ever before.
Looking so young, maybe people don't take you as seriously, even though you could know just as much and be just as knowledgeable and be just as eager to help someone and do whatever it takes to get them exactly what they want. Maybe you might look a little younger, so people may not take you as seriously.
When I got into real estate, I was the ripe age of 23. I literally went from being a college graduate, having no money, to being a real estate agent that had no money. And what's interesting is that I think a lot of people who are young that get into real estate are exceptionally immature for how mature you need to be in order to succeed in this business. And so definitely being a young real estate agent has its benefits and its drawbacks, but I definitely think that one of the biggest hurdles that you have to overcome as a young agent is getting people to trust you with such a large financial investment in their life to someone that looks like their kid. How believable are you, and how trustworthy are you? And it's something that I don't think a lot of people actually think about. And when I got into real estate, I definitely I did not think about that at all. I mean, J-Rod, you throw up some clips up right now. I mean, I had my hair up literally like a mohawk, and I thought somehow I was gonna sell $1 million houses with a mohawk. I don't know, don't ask me how, I thought that was gonna happen, but I mean, Sylvia can attest, right, Sylvia Pooh? Right? I had a mohawk. I literally had, right, Mo? I had a mohawk.
Yes, I'm calling that bribery. I think that's a good.
Bribery?
Yes.
What bribery in what way?
If anybody wants to see pictures.
So what it's blackmail. Okay. Monique's a lender, but it's blackmail. She's not a linguist, she's a lender. I was able to sell 11 houses my very first year in real estate, and honestly, it was out of sheer determination and complete disregard for the fact that most people didn't think that I was going to make it. I definitely know that I had a lot of people that said, oh, there's no way he's going to sell houses. There's no way he's going to be successful, yada, 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 because of the way I looked, because of how young I was, because of this, because of that. But I knew that I knew that I was going to do it, but it took a lot of effort. I mean, it took a lot of effort to sell those 11 houses. And what I realized after getting a significant amount of feedback was that there was something about my persona that made people not necessarily trust me, right? And so then I had to kind of step back and say, okay, well, what is it about myself that isn't trustworthy? So obviously the first thing was the appearance, right? So I had to completely overhaul my appearance. But then after that, I was still having some issues. And so what I realized was that my skills were actually on par with a lot of real estate agents in the Valley, but they weren't superior, right? And so because I had a lot of things that were working against me, I realized that I actually needed to really work on my skills. And so my number one advice to you would be to master your skill set and make sure that you know more about selling houses, that you know your scripts, that your dialogues, your interactions, everything is so dialed in that when people talk to you, they are so impressed by who is in front of them that they have no other choice but to work with you. That's it. That's it, because if there's even a shadow of doubt, if there's like an inkling of insecurity about your ability to get them the highest possible price or to get them the home that they're looking for, or the home of their dreams, or fill in the blank here, then you've already lost. So what I realized, and this is probably like a year and a half into real estate, is that I need to be the best salesman out there. Like literally no one can outsell me. Anyone. No one can do it. And that's because I took an insane amount of time to master my craft and my skill set. And so the truth about being a young real estate agent is that it's really hard work. You're already setting yourself up on an uphill battle. Makes sense? Because you're getting into an industry that is filled with people that are significantly older than you. And here's the puffy part. You and 65-year-old have the same license number, you get into real estate the same day, and you go to a listing appointment that night the same, zero skill set, anything. Who has a better likelihood of getting the listing signed? It's the 65-year-old, right? It's that gray hair. If you're getting into real estate and you're young, you need to accelerate your rate of experience. And how do you do that? You get that through education, practice, some sort of mentorship, apprenticeship, right? Like, why do you think so many people join teams now? It's because they're able to latch onto the experience, the cloud that team leader, that team, that infrastructure provides them. They can take a lot out of that relationship. They can extract a lot of the tools, the trainings, the resources, the experience, all of that from the team, and go out and sell a lot more real estate than they'd be able to do it just on their own.
One pro of being a really young professional real estate agent is that you have no obligations.
You don't have as many obligations. I mean, I have some, but I don't have any kids or I don't have any kids or anything, so that works out.
Which means your focus will be almost 100% on servicing your clients when you're not going out and drinking.
I'm kind of at the age, since I'm about to be 26, I fall in kind of an age where some people in my generation are buying, so I kind of have that leverage. So that's a good pro, because I can more so relate to the younger people.
If you have no responsibilities, right? If you have no wife, no kids, no husband or whatever, and you get into real estate, think about how many decades you have to build a big business. I mean, we're talking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years that you have to devote to this. I mean, it's beautiful, right? When you think about it, you have very little to lose and a lot to gain by becoming your own boss, right? Or if you're joining a team, you have a lot of time to build your database, right? To build those relationships and that sphere of influence that is ultimately going to get you to a point where you're selling a lot of real estate just because you exist. One of the greatest things about being a young real estate agent is that you have a lot of untapped energy that most older agents just can't compete with. And so you also have a very unique tie-in to the ecosystem that a lot of older agents don't. And I say one of my biggest competitive advantages is that I understand a lot of the social media, the technologies, the things that are the future of real estate. And so you have this wave of futuristic approaches coming into the business, and what happens is that a lot of older agents, they get scared by it, or they ignore it altogether because it's not going to affect them, right? But if you can understand the technology, you can understand the change, you can embrace the change, you are the change, then that's going to set you up for long-term success. So don't be afraid of the fact that you're going to go up against older agents. Don't be afraid that people are going to laugh you out of the room because you don't have gray hair. Don't be afraid that you don't necessarily have the clout or the database or the connections that can buy houses, because it's very real. When you're in your 20s, you don't have a large database of people that are ready to buy or sell houses right now. So you have to build it from scratch. You have to build it from the ground up. And so that takes time. That takes effort. But embrace it, because if you are on the forefront of the change and you take the time to build the relationships, to build the skill set, then you're going to win.